Well, I believe it might be live. Well, I don't think we're live quite yet. I'll watch the VOD later and be like, oh, wait. Well, actually, no, there's a huge delay. I'm guessing like 28 seconds, maybe? I don't know. No, we're live right now. Okay, we're going to live right now. But yeah, so welcome back, everybody. I'm Urbandrei, and today we'll be making some more code. And I think right now the main objective is I have a ceiling fan. It's making the most annoying noise right now. Anyways, the goal for today is for us to create a bunch of I'd call them like simple projects, like more like the tutorials we were working on a while ago, like that, but just a lot of them and in varying difficulties. And yeah, last stream we made some tutorials, and I actually did the social media during the stream. That went horribly wrong, so we're not gonna do that again. I've learned my lesson. But yeah, so today I actually worked a little bit. I think we started this yesterday, but then I worked some more today. And I've been working on creating this game, 2048. And we got pretty close. Right now, here's where we're at the moment. Let me zoom in for us real fast. Okay. And as you can tell, we have the basic behavior of it complete. Very, very simple so far. From what I remember, I think the biggest issue right now is that we don't actually have the tie breaking done properly. So I gotta fix that. Hey, Karks Toxin, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Can you guys hear me? Actually, that's a good question. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you guys can hear me. Perfect. Yeah, just showcasing what I worked on this morning, which is just spent some time and made 2048. I'm not sure if it's actually like working the way I think it should be working. I think it's working okay. That looked weird. Wait 1 second. I wish I could just go back. I see some really weird behaviors. Okay. But anyways, we have 2048 more or less running. I'm not sure if there's any bugs. That's the only thing. I don't know if there is potentially some bugs that I should be aware of. I don't think there's any bugs. The transitions happen so quickly that I can't really tell if it's working the way I believe it should be working, which is unfortunate. But anyways, let's get back into the code. So I think the last thing I want to do for this particular project, because we're kind of on the edge of it, again, there could be a bug in it somewhere, and not much I can really do at this point, because I can't tell if there's a bug. It feels like it's working correct, so that's about all I really can do at the moment, unless I like really overhaul how everything works. I just realized that my that this part here is technically incorrect. Technically. Although it doesn't explain why it isn't working per se. So I do want to double check this and see what's happening. So let's just open up the console and just see what happens. So right now it should, I guess the issue right now is, well, no, I take that back, because I think what's happening here is we get a do nothing event. Yeah, this will be a do nothing event. So this will never actually happen. If something happens, yeah, okay. So we can just ignore this part right here. That part is irrelevant. Okay, well in that case, all I really need to do left is maybe add a restart button, maybe. Guess we don't have to do that, but let's at least make the score show up. And then we're gonna call this one finished. So 0, 40, 80, 120, 240. So we're gonna make a document.create element p. We're gonna call it score equals this. Score dot style dot position is equal to absolute. And score dot style dot top is equal to 160 px. And then we'll add in score dot inner HTML is equal to score plus score. And then document dot append child score. Yeah, and that should be basically it, actually. So, well, actually, we gotta fix the other console logs. So, score.inner HTML is equal. Man, I cannot type today. Today is the day when I cannot type, apparently. And everything else. So with that, this will not actually happen. Okay, if that doesn't happen, we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. Get rid of this conditional right here. And then we can get rid of the game over. And that brings the total length of this project down to 85 lines. Not horrible. Let's give it a run, make sure Okay, we have a problem. Oh, I didn't put it on the body, I just put it on, Man, I'm getting lazy today. Today is a lazy day, apparently. Okay. Hello, Rogers Pillai. How's it going? Welcome back to stream. Let's give it a run. Now that is bad. Oh, okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. We can't call this score. I'll call it scoreboard. That is a big problem. Glad I caught that. Save it, run it, and then let's continue. Back to the game. Okay, now let's give it a try. Everything seems to be running smoothly. I'm not seeing any obvious errors. Guess we can just sit back and enjoy some high octane. I already died. Okay, well, but I feel like it's pretty clear that the game is working as intended. So I'd say that that is basically it. Obviously, there's more we could do. Obviously, there's more we can do to improve this. But I'm gonna just call this the end of this project. I'm gonna make something to store all these projects. So we've made tic-tac-toe, we've made the text game, we've made 2048. I think next we can do something else. Maybe let's make... I'm feeling making ourselves... Let's make the dinosaur game from Chrome. That sounds like fun. Not too difficult. It's like basically just like a simple jumper game. Let's start a new one. Let's go into code, and as always, actually I might actually even document this one better than I normally do, because normally I don't really document how I make the code. Actually, nah, that'll take too much time, too much effort. Plus, it's not like I'm typing very easily or well today anyways. So we're gonna start, let's zoom in just a little bit, because we are starting quite simply. And for right now, let us simply start with, let's make our player character. Create element, it want to be a div. .body .append child. We're gonna call it player. And let's give player some stylings really fast. So let's give player .style .position equals absolute. Player .style .height is equal to, let's make it like 10 pixels? No, 20 pixels. 20 pixels. Player .style .width is equal to 20 pixels. Player .style .background color is equal to black. Player.style. Hey, Alan Martins, how's it going? We're starting a new project as we kind of pretty much wrapped up the last one. We're kind of working on just simple little projects right now. Also, by the way, if you hear me responding very late, it's because there's like heavy chat delay. I was about to actually type something to kind of let you guys know that, but by now you might have heard that. So there's heavy chat delay. So I promise you, like within 30 seconds to a minute, you're gonna hear me say something. So just wait up and you'll be fine. But yeah, so right now, what I'm trying to do is create small kind of like hour-long games. Basically, I kind of want to, it's kind of like, I would describe it like weight training with lighter weights, but coding. That's kind of what we're doing right now. Dot left is equal to 30px. I gotta figure out why we're having such heavy delay. It is practically unacceptable at this point, honestly. Okay. Let's just see how this looks like. We have this running. Let's just give it a quick. We're gonna call this. I'll call it dinosaur.html. Keep it a classy name. Put in our social folder. And let's run dinosaur. So, running it, we get this little square in the corner. Pretty simple. So, next up, what we're going to do is we're going to make the circle, or make, not circle. Why am I saying circle? Man, I am going insane by the day. But we're going to make this jump whenever we press spacebar. So very simple. So for this project, we will need to have an actual 60 times per second loop. We haven't done that for the last couple projects. We didn't really need it, and it would have been like a waste of resources. So we're gonna have a set interval, and we're going to create a loop function, 1000/60 for 60 times a second. And we're also going to keep track of whether or not the player actually jumped. And how I'm gonna do that for right now is well, I guess I should use the keyed up and down events. That is probably for the best. I might just do it for space to kind of keep it simple. So we're just gonna do an event for space. And I think for space, is it the word? I got to test this actually. It might just be a space. It might be a word for space. I don't know. So document.add event listener. And we're going to do it on key down. And for right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just print it out so we can see if what is the key for space. I do a lot of my coding very experimentally. If I can figure something out in like, also you guys can see me coding. Whoops a daisy. If I can't figure out how to do something, like if I can figure out how to do something on my own just by messing around with the code, I'd rather do that than like rely on something else. And of course, of course it isn't working, because why would it ever work? Let's zoom out just a little bit so I can see what's going on here. There's no obvious bug. No obvious bug. Not yet. Let's go back in. Maybe I just didn't have the screen selected. Bizarre. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm going through the code. I'm trying to see if something happens. But nothing is happening. So I don't know what's going on here exactly. I guess we could just ignore this and so we know that this for sure is happening. Maybe the set interval is not happy with us. So I'm gonna just add a little wait thing in the set interval thing. So I keep switching between the screen. I keep switching between the screens very, very quickly while I'm like doing debugging, and I feel like you guys are not seeing me do anything because I am constantly switching between the game screen and the code screen. Let me just move this over a little bit. Okay, I gotta use my Stream Deck to do this. I have to like make a habit of this. Okay, so clearly something is wrong with the way I'm handling it right now. This all looks correct to me. Let's delete this for right now, just for the sake of figuring out what's going on. Maybe it's complaining about it not being... No, that's not right. It should be keyed down. What was my first game in JavaScript? My first game in JavaScript was... well, I've done projects before. I wouldn't really classify them as games, though. I've done stuff in JavaScript a long time ago. But the first project we did, like on stream with JavaScript, like this. That's not true either. The earliest project I have on this machine that I use JavaScript for a game is probably my my first game jam that I successfully completed, which was the Valentine's Day game jam, which I actually don't have right now because it is... I was actually refactoring that code a while ago, so that's a problem. But the code is available online, and you can run it if you like, if that's of any interest to you. But I can show you how the code looks like. It is in my game jam, I believe. Is it in there? It isn't. Oopsie daisy. Well, I have it here. It's in the Valentine's Day game jam here. So it's in this game jam here. This is the game jam I did, my very first JavaScript game that I did on stream for a game jam. And this is how it looks like. It's very simple. Can I run it somehow? Here, let me just copy all this. Copy it. Actually, I'm going to just download it, honestly. Download raw file. And I'll find it, and let's just run it. And there you have it. It's my first game I did in JavaScript. Very, very simplistic. Really, the cool part about this project isn't the game itself, but it's more how I handled the art and everything. Because all the artwork here isn't like PNGs or like actual art files. all the artwork you're seeing is actual CSS properties that I defined, like shadows and stuff to create the pixels. Quite frankly, it's a very overcomplicated way to do this, but I'm still very proud of how I made it. It was definitely a more interesting project. But yeah, I'd say that would be my first one that I created. Yeah, so before that, I mean, I graduated college with a degree in computer science. So I had a lot of experience with like a variety of. Oh, why is it behind environment? Well, for that game jam, I was just showing a previous game jam that I did, my very first game jam. For that game jam, it was really, we ran out of time. Like the score and the hearts and everything, like that part of the game, we got stuck with a huge bug on the last day. I had like 13 hours. I thought it would have been enough to like clear the bug and just get the finish of the game, but I was so wrong because last day I had like 1 hour to like finish the game after I fixed a bug. So the score and everything, that was like a half an hour deal because I didn't even know how to submit it yet. So submitting the project itself took a while. It was a mess, quite frankly. The end of that project. I mean, I will say for a first game jam, especially even the fact that we got so hard stuck on a bug, I'm pretty proud of what we did. It wasn't bad. Um, are there things I would have definitely liked to have done differently? For sure. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working. Let me just like run this first and see if that actually does anything. Isn't, wait, am I running the wrong file? I might be running the wrong file. No, I'm running the right file. It just isn't registering me clicking. But yeah, Lambda, welcome back to stream. Today, we're starting today with a, well, I finished yesterday's project, like the one we ended last stream with before this stream, really. We kind of just polished it off a little bit, and I'll put it on social media probably like later, like tomorrow probably, at the latest. I don't understand why this isn't working. There has to be an easy explanation for this. Maybe let's try key up and see what happens. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, what's going on? Okay. Okay, I'll grab it. Okay. I need to take care of something really fast. I'll be right back. Let me just... One second. My desktop is a mess right now. But yeah, I'll be right back, everybody. I'm simply gonna just take care of a quick house chore, and I'll be back in like under 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. So just hang tight, don't move, and I'll be right back. I'm sorry, duty calls. I'm trying this. Come back, everybody. Sorry for the wait. Oh yeah, okay. Anyways. Whew. So while I was gone, let's figure this out. I don't know why this is giving us issues. Maybe... for the hoops and giggles of it, why don't we just... This is a bad way of doing this, but may as well just have fun with it if we're having a significant bug. Let's just change something about the player. If we click it. Again, this isn't really a solution. This is more just me figuring out why. Okay, so it's an issue with the event listener. Is it like 4 a.m.? No, it actually is before. It's 11:45 for me right now. It isn't. I'm definitely tired. I will say. I just got back from work, and it was a long day. And honestly, this morning my day got off to like a really bad start. Also, Karkstoxin's back. Welcome back, Karkstoxin. But I had a really, really like sad morning. Like such a. It was I got really depressed this morning because here I'll tell you guys a story. Just quick warning for anyone who's joining us in right now. What I'm about to tell you guys is a really sad thing that happened. We might be in the same. I'm in Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., so I'm from Ohio. But yeah, so just a quick warning to anybody who's on stream. 11:46 in the Philippines, nice. So yeah, but yeah, quick warning. The story I'm about to tell you guys is a really sad one. It's a short one too, but it's a sad one. This morning I was taking my dog. I was taking my dog outside, and when I was taking my dog outside, I saw this little bird, a little baby bird, and it couldn't fly. It was like a fledgling, so it was like bouncing, fluttering a little bit, and bouncing. Alan Martin said, "Oh, I thought you were ahead of Brazilian time." Am I? I don't know what time it is in Brazil right now. But anyways, so it's 04. Oh, I mean, I'm 11:47 midnight. I'm not sure if you guys are. I'll bring up a map and we'll figure out what the time zone is. All right. Anyways, back to the story. So, little fledgling, barely flying, and he goes into the road. And there's like another bird there too, which I assume is like the little bird's mom or whatever. And again, I'm taking the dog outside. We're near a road, so I don't want to take the dog close to the road or anything because there's a bunch of cars. It's not safe. But I see this little bird going into the road, and there's nothing I can do. I kind of just watch while he's like in the middle of the road, kind of playing around. And I thought he was gonna make it because there was like a long period of time when like there was no cars and he was like just in the middle and like kind of moving around, and the mom bird kind of was like flying away, so I kind of assumed the baby bird to follow, but it kind of just stayed there going around, and I was kind of like debating like can I like quickly tie down the dog and go to the road and kind of like help him get out of the way or whatever. When like I turn, and like when I turn back, the bird's dead. Got ran over by a car. Like literally this bird, like 1 second it was okay, just fluttering around. The next second, like it's literally just blood and guts. Like literally its intestines like out of the body. It was so sad. Like ridiculously sad. And yeah, that kind of ruined my morning. Yeah, like literally like 1 second, like I turn around, 1 second, bird, having a good time, flying around, little baby bird. Next second, it's got run over by like a Jeep or something. I don't know. Like literally, like when I say it was graphic, it was graphic. Like literally, like it was obvious. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, maybe he got hit or something. No, it was obvious it died. Like not to be too descriptive of it, but like literally, it was like this was a small gray bird, so it kind of blended into the road. It went from that to like pile of red. So yeah, that was my morning. And Ken's here. Ken came just in time for the story time. So yeah. I don't know. I'm also, but then like immediately after that, after I had to experience that, I had to go into work, and like at work, I have a tendency to hurt myself, and I did that. I think today I got off pretty lightly, but I still managed to like skin one of my fingers a little bit, and like I bonked my head real bad. So you know, it was a day. It was definitely a day. Worst time to join? Yeah. I don't even know if I should have told that story. It's such a sad story. It's such a sad story. Karks talks and says my morning is sad too. Like 10 piles of schoolwork. Well, I mean, you're learning something. That's good. That's good. I mean, I used to have that. Yeah, no, my entire day was pretty traumatized. I was really sad. And like later in the day, like I was like outside and I saw a bunch of birds and like just having a chill time, and it just reminded me of that little baby bird, and it was just so depressing. Anyways, we're talking about time zones a second ago. So let's look what Brazilian time is. So in Brazil, the time is 12:51 a.m. Wait. So 12:51. I'm confused. So it switches. One second, one second. I'm not used to like, it's wrong. It's 0:52 right now. Well, I think it's just using 12 instead of 00. I think it's still accurate. I'm just gonna try. Let me look into this. Time for my coping breakfast. I'll totally help my emotional state. Yeah. Yeah, so let me take a look. So depending on what area, so if you're on like the more like western part of Brazil, you might be in the same time zone as me. If you're in the middle, so I believe from how you're describing it, you're like more in the middle of Brazil, so like you're just like an hour later than me. And I believe someone else said they were from the, I think Karks Toxin said he was in the Philippines. Yeah, it's Brazil is like, I don't know, like yeah, I think like it should be like near near morning for a part of Brazil. Or actually, wait, does the sun go this way? My brain is not working right now. So in the Philippines, so let me look at what time zone is the Philippines. So for Philippines, it's 11:54. So you're actually a full 12 hours away from me. So airplane is in Pacific Standard Time, so it's 8:54 for them. 8:54 p.m. But yeah, no. So I think like I'm like the time I stream at is the time when a lot of people not in my time zone are awake, and a lot of people in my time zone are asleep. It's a very bizarre time to be streaming at. I mean, it's cool because I get to talk to people from all the way across the world, like people in the Philippines, Brazil, Pacific Coast, etc. But but yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely very, very interesting. Okay. But anywho, all that being said and done, let's continue with our code. So I don't know why this key down event isn't working. There has to be an easy explanation for it, but my brain is just refusing. Maybe, okay, I'm gonna, no, but like I'm gonna just copy the code from, well, actually we had an example. Wait, let me look at my 2048 code. Because we have the event listener. Let me just copy this because this for sure worked. So we know that this for sure works. Let's see what happens when I run this. Wait, whoa, I know, okay. I know why it's not working. I know why it's not, oh my God. I know why it's not working. Well, that's frustrating. Okay. So, long story short, in fact, my code was working. I just wasn't running the right file. As you can tell here, but when I click a button, that thing goes bigger. So, legitimately, my brain is not working right now. My brain is the opposite of working right now. Okay. All that said and done, we're back on track. We spent like 20 minutes stuck on that. That's ridiculous. I'll never live this down. Okay, but now that we have this working, again, we're just making like a very, very basic rendition of the dinosaur game by Google. So all we're gonna do is have jump equal false, and then when we have a key down, and then I want to first see what is the key that it defines for space. That doesn't matter per se, but for the sake of my sanity, we're gonna check that. So then we just go here, go into the log, run it, and space is just space. Perfect, no problem there. Go back into code, and then we're gonna go inside here, and then if event.key is equal to space, then jumping equals true, and then close this. And then we're going to repeat this for key up and just invert it. And now all we got to do is a very, very simple, I'd call it an animation. An animation is probably the accurate word for this. But we're going to create a interval. My hands are really dry right now, and I hate typing because the texture of my hands with the plastic keycaps is so unpleasant. It's like ridiculously unpleasant right now. Okay, but ignoring my complaints, what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly have a set interval, and in the interval, we'll see if the player Well, I will say, okay, so for the most part, most languages are very, like, the logic is the same. And quite frankly, a lot of them, like, it's all meant to be human readable. Like, the goal of these languages isn't to confuse the viewer. That isn't the goal of the language. The goal of the language is to convert abstractions into text that humans can write, and vice versa. That's really the objective of goal. The objective of code is to create these text-friendly translations of abstractions. So like when you have like words like add event listener or key up or like dot key, or when we have stuff like document, create element, position, height, width, background color. When you have these things, the goal of it isn't to confuse the writer or confuse the reader. It is to make it as easy for them to write functional code. So really, it's like as long as you have a basic grasp of like the generics, and even if you don't, because like stuff like if, else, and, or there, like all these various like words in programming, they are natural language equivalents of like, if I have a sentence with a word and, else, if, etc. in it, it'll make sense. If I read out what a line is, it should make sense from like a linguistic perspective what it does. So the language I'm currently coding in is JavaScript. We're writing an HTML file, but we're essentially creating code for an HTML file that is JavaScript. So if player.style.bottom, and I'm gonna just kind of cheat and just use 0px. Normally we can actually expand this out and make it more interesting. Let me scroll down so you guys can actually, well, I can't, never mind. Take that back, I can't do that. Is 0px and jumping, because jumping is logical. We don't need to worry about it setting equal to anything or whatever. And then what we're going to do is, if it's true, and we want to create a actually, I take it back. We're not going to do it this way. We're going to do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is y equals 0, y vel is equal to 0. I can see the div, so I assume that's HTML. So div is actually, yeah, div is HTML. Yeah, you're right, you're right. So essentially, a div in HTML just practically means divider, but we're kind of cheating and just using it as like a space that we can like define colors and stuff. So it's, I'd say the way how we're handling it isn't how it's intended to be used, but we're kind of cheating the system a little bit to make these games. But yeah, so we have that, yvel. I think what I'm not going to have an X for the character. I'm going to do some trickery later. We're not going to worry about it. We're not going to worry about it. We're not even going to think about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. Oh man, my allergies are acting up right now. But okay, so we're not going to do this. We're not even going to use player.style.bottom for this. We're just going to do if y equals 0. So if y is 0 and jumping, then y is equal to, well, y vel is equal to 10, and y is equal to y vel. Easy peasy. And then what we're going to do is, if this is not true, we're going to do else if y is, so if y is less than or equal to 0, so if we're not jumping, but, or not, we haven't jumped per se. Actually, we're going to do y less than or equal to 0 and jumping, then y less than or equal to 0, but not jumping, then y equals 0, and y vel is equal to 0. And else, so other than that, we're going to just do y minus equal y vel, y, or sorry, plus equals y vel minus equal, let's say 2. I don't know. And then what we're going to do is player dot style dot bottom is equal to y plus px. And we're done. Now we're going to just go into the game and we're going to run it and see what happens. Hey, we got a jump. We have physics. Physics has been done. We have achieved physics, but it's kind of like a bad, I don't like the jump right now. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of meh. We can do better than that. Let's like lower the gravity. Maybe a little bit lower, but then also I think a little bit lower. We're going to half the gravity, and we're also going to decrease the initial velocity. A little bit too little. Let's bring it back up again. Oh boy, that's a little bit too much. Let's go halfsies. That feels good. Okay, we have a very, very generic thing going on here. Now what we can do is we can very, very simply do this. So we know where the character is. We defined the left of it to be 30 pixels. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have, so we have the jumping behavior done. We're going to make an array of enemies. So we're going to have enemies equals this. And what we're going to do is every single, like, on every interval, we're going to have a small chance we're going to spawn in an enemy. So if, and for the small chance, we'll just do if math.random is, the issue, by the way, you guys can't see me coding, whoops a daisy. The issue with doing it this way, by the way, is when you're doing this kind of logic, the clustering could be bad. So there might be a situation where the player can physically not make the jump, and that's not fun. So realistically, we might want to actually mess with the behavior a little bit to make it so that even if, like, worst case scenario, you have a huge clustering, it's still going to be technically winnable, even if it's very difficult. That is, I think, the goal of difficulty curves, but we'll take care of that in a little bit. So we're going to just do if math, well, 0.01 is probably the best. In this case, we're going to do this. We're going to first create enemy is equal to document.create element. We're going to create a new div. I'm going to zoom out just a little eensy bit so you guys can see everything I'm typing. We're going to create a new div, and in the new div, what we're going to do is we're going to create, well, give it some stylings first, obviously. So enemy dot style dot, I'll make the background color of it be red. You guys probably have seen me do stuff like this before. I generally go for the black and red kind of characteristics for like enemies versus the player and so on. Enemy.style, and we did 20 px for the width and height before. We'll do the same exact thing here. So 20 px. I really should have this be relative to the screen size, but right now I could not be bothered. And now we're going to something a little bit different than I normally do. We're going to have enemy.style.left, and we're going to do, instead of my usual like simple numbers and stuff like that, we're actually going to use window.innerWidth to make it spawn outside of the screen. And we'll add a little px here. And then enemy.style.bottom is equal to 0 px. And now here's where it gets more interesting. what we're going to do is we're also going to do enemies dot push enemy. And now we have the enemy saved. And now we're going to iterate through the array of enemies and see if any of them have contacted our player and ended the game. So for I equals 0, I less than enemies, cannot type today, enemies dot length, I plus plus. We're going to go through it and see if one of our enemies has in fact contacted a player. And we're going to basically just use a bounding box for this. Very, very simple. We're going to see, well, let's actually do it in a more, let's get the enemy's X position. So do X is equal to enemy I dot style dot left dot splice 0 to -2. And we're going to do parse int on it to get the integer value. So what we're doing here, if it looks a little bit complicated, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Now you guys can see it. So what's happening here is we're essentially, so enemies I dot style dot left. This is we're testing out every single enemy, and we're saying, hey, this enemy here at the ith position, what is its left position? Okay, we got that. Now let's take off. So right now it's a string that ends in px. So it has the amount of pixels and a px. So the splice 0 to -2 basically goes from the leftmost character to 2 before the last one. So it cuts out the px. And now that we have just a number, now we can parse it into an integer and save that integer, which is x. So very simple. And then after that, all we're going to do is if x is less, so basically we want to see if the x, if this item is within the area of the player. So if x is greater than or equal to 30, no, 20, and x is less than or, actually I'll be generous. I'll be a generous developer. If x is less, we're going to have it so that even if it's like on the edge, it's not going to care. If x is less than 30, no, wait, no, 40. Yeah, 40. Yes, 40. Had to like, no. Yes? No. 10, and then 30 plus 50. 50, that's the right one. Okay. We're good. We're good. So if x is greater than 10 and x is less than 50, and so now the y is the variable on the second part of this. So if y, and y is either going to be like above it or it's going to be like there. There's not like a range for this. So if y is less than 20, we're going to have like console.log, and we're going to have like dead, just so we know that that happened. And then else, all we're going to do, so if that didn't happen and the game is still on, we're going to want on every single one of these to move it a little bit to the left. So what we're going to do is enemies I dot style dot left is equal to x minus 2 plus px. And that should be it. That should really be everything we need, per se. Let's give it a try. So let's go into the game and let's just see what happens here. We have a bug! The bugs are back. So we have a bug on line 49. Woe is me who got stuck by a bug. Oh, forgot parentheses. Whoops a daisy. That was definitely just a mistype. Here we go. It's complaining about splice. Why is it complaining about splice? Is it slice? It might be slice. Okay, well, now we have the issue of it not actually appearing. That's fantastic. Why is that not working? Width, height, background. Well, I guess we can inspect and see what's going on here exactly. Because clearly, yeah, we're dead, so it's here. Let's analyze. Oh, okay. Easy bug, easy bug. We forgot to append it to the body. Document dot body dot append the child, which is enemy. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Okay, anyways. Problem solved. Crisis averted. Let's give it a try. Well, that's wrong. And we forgot to give it an absolute positioning. Enemy dot style dot position is equal to absolute. The absolute. And now after that, now let's give it another run and see what happens. Oh, there we go. So now I'm guessing if we don't jump, it'll get stuck. Yeah. But if we do jump, it's now going to let us jump over this. I will say I'm struggling to jump over this right now. It's pretty bad. Also, I'm seeing this really weird bug. Yes, I coded Notepad. It's something I've been doing for a long time now. And the reactions people give me never cease to make me laugh. Okay, but anyways, so the jump velocity of this is not great. Also, I'm seeing it fall underneath the screen, so I think we actually need to change the physics of it a little bit. Plus, we gotta change how the game actually handles the enemies going out. So let's zoom out just a little bit, an eensy little bit. And what we're gonna start by doing is we're gonna actually fix the physics. So into physics, so if y is less than or equal to 0 and jumping, then we do this. Else, if y is less than or equal to 0, this. I might actually, instead of, we might use this separately. Because the logic here doesn't actually, it should keep it above the ground, so this will not trigger. So this will only trigger anyways whenever it does it. And then we can split this off here and put the else for this after this. And what this means is actually even worse. What we can do is if y is greater than or equal to 0, then we do this, or greater than 0, we do this. Otherwise, we set it equal to this. And this should actually make it so that it will not have the jumping thing we're seeing right now. Let's give it a daisy. We got a bug. It is saying that we have a bug on unexpected token else. Oh, okay, I accidentally typed this in. Here, I'll just delete it very fast off screen. Okay. I'm still seeing a jump a little bit. Oh, wait, is it jumping because it's off? Oh, wait, it's doing whenever a new block spawns in. Okay, that's... I think we gotta set it so that it doesn't like actually collide with the edge of the screen. Or what is the... There's a property for this. There's a property in CSS for this. Also, we should make it so that when it actually goes to the to -20, it despawns. We should actually code it in as well. Let's do... My brain's thinking right now. You can tell it's hard. My brain doesn't like thinking. Okay. It's the overflow property. So we want to set enemy dot style dot overflow is equal to hidden, and we'll do the same thing for our player. We'll do it right here. And now we run it and see what happens. Did not fix the problem. The problem is not fixed. That is not good. Let me actually take a look into this and see why it's causing this problem. Is it actually seeing these properties? Let's look at the properties of this. Okay, I can feel my computer starting to hate me for letting this run for too long. Let's start actually by introducing despawning. Fixing despawning is a pretty easy fix. All we're gonna do is, so when we're doing this left thing, we're gonna also add in if x is less than or equal, or less than 20 minus 20, we're going to despawn it. So we're going to just do enemies I dot remove, and then enemies. Okay, actually, this is actually going to be interesting because we're gonna want to do what is it? Is this splice? It might be splice. I think this is the splice one. I, 1. We're gonna want to do this in reverse so we don't get the issue with splicing. So we're gonna do this. Enemy is I greater than 0 and starting at enemies dot length -1. And now we run it. And now we should get some pretty decent despawning. Unless my code refuses to... There we go. Okay, so as you can tell, it is starting to despawn all of the elements that are not critical. We're still seeing some really heavy... Like whenever I hit the ground, we can see that it is... Well, occasionally we get a small scroll bar. So that's not good. Our overflow thing is not working. Actually, I think I know what the issue is. The issue here, I believe, is it isn't these elements that need to have the overflow property, it's the document itself. So how we're going to handle that is we're going to go in here and we're going to remove the overflow and remove it from here as well. Not here and here. And we're just also going to add in another document.style.overflow is equal to hidden. And now let's give it a try. Let's give it a run and see what happens. Bug. Okay, document.body. Oopsie daisy. Let's give it a run. I don't see any scroll bars. Yay, we fixed the scroll bar problem. Easy peasy. Okay, so this is working. It still feels very pixel perfect, which I don't like. It definitely feels like I have to really try to dodge these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the code and we're going to decrease the gravity one last time. Hopefully one last time. I feel like every time I say that, I end up having to decrease it more. Well, let's decrease gravity to like 0.1 and really, really lower the vertical velocity. Let's give it a run and see what happens. Okay, that's not great. Let's increase the vertical velocity somewhat. Still not great. Let's bring it back to 5. It feels floaty, like I don't have a control over it. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. 7, 3. 6. It still feels kind of floaty. I don't really appreciate. 5, 7. We're kind of back to where I started. Let's do 8. Maybe this will do better. doesn't look great, but it feels the best. So I'm gonna just stick with this one. I'm actually going to decrease this and increase this and see what happens. Still feels pixel perfect. Man, this is kind of killing me a little bit. I just can't get it to feel great. It feels okay, but not great. Okay, well, it doesn't feel bad. So I'm gonna just count my blessings, and we're gonna do something a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do now is we're going to change the spawning rate of the enemy. So instead of just being math random, we're actually gonna have a timer function equals 0, and we're going to increment timer at the beginning, and if timer, we're gonna have it be like intervals of, let's say, a second a piece. I think that'll be good for right now, at least until we have something better. And math on random. Now we can actually increase the probability. Let's increase it to. Let's actually use timer for this. So if math on random. 001 times timer. So like after, it would take 1,000 seconds. That's too long. Let's do, in 10 seconds, it'll be, okay, I think this is good. Okay. So now we have both a difficulty curve and we have intervals of enemies. So this is actually what we want to do. I think there's definitely stuff we can do that was more interesting, like wave type systems, but I'm too lazy to really, that takes actual more effort than what I'm willing to spend right now. I don't know why my computer is acting up right now a little bit. Well, this feels wrong. It feels like it's already doing the interval thing. And your interval does feel like a little bit too spaced, so we'll drop to 30. Oh, I know the issue. We do want to add, okay, because this is milliseconds, not milliseconds, it's 60th of a seconds, not seconds. So after like 30, I want to make like a minute long before it gets like crazy. So like a minute is gonna be like, I think this is good for right now. I'm gonna just test this out, see how it feels like. This should be reasonably better. So let's give it a try. Probably gonna die still because I don't like how the gravity feels. Okay, why is this? Let's give it a run and see what happens. Well, I'm dying after every single one. Yeah, it just doesn't, the interval I have right now just doesn't feel good. And it already gets automatically into like the crazy mode. Like, let's just add like another 0 and see how this feels. There's no bug. It's just taking forever for it to load. Okay, finally got one. You see how like it's like impossible for me to make these jumps? Booga booga big smoke. How is the stream going? The stream is going pretty well. I'm still right now we're kind of in the fine tuning section of this game that I've created. I think this game is so far feels pretty good. It's just more or less a jump, just doesn't feel too good. I think it's gonna just come down to me just fine tuning the actual jump amount and the frequency amount and everything. But yeah. I guess we could also like throw in some minor graphics to make it look more like the Google dinosaur game. How many lines of code are we at right now? I don't want to add too many more features. I think maybe like a game over thing and a score thing would be pretty cool. And maybe like scaling it properly. That could be kind of cool as well. I don't want to do much more than that. So let's go back to the code. And let's get this more interesting. So I think for the beginning, okay, so holding the spacebar and holding the spacebar impacting jump height. That's a good idea. That's not bad. And that's actually pretty easy to implement as well. Um, and yeah, so in the hitting grad to make you restart, that's gonna happen. I just haven't gone there yet. Right now, I'm still trying to get the game to like feel decent. So I wasn't really focused on like the death or score aspect of the game. I mean, we've only been working on this for like half an hour, so well, 40 minutes so far. More than that, actually. How long have we... I should have a timer. I should like time this, like do a leak code style. We should do that for sure. I guess one here's a theory. I'm not sure how this will feel, but I'm curious. This is more for my curiosity, if nothing else. Why we do if jumping? We can do yvel is this, else, or let's say 0.3, 0.6. And now let's give it a try. Let's give it a whirl and see what happens. It's interesting. It does have like a certain. Interesting. So for the restart aspect, that's pretty easy to code because really all that is we're taking this code right here and we're taking this behavior right here. And instead of having the console log, we can just do for add a physics engine. We don't need it. I mean, quite frankly, okay, so here's the thing. I mean, we've had this conversation many times, but I think it's a prime time to reiterate it. But it's not like a physics engine is gonna do some of the work for me. Like maybe it's gonna handle some of this code that I wrote, but it's not like it's gonna like do anything too different, you know? And if it does anything different, the different thing it can do isn't something that we can't make ourselves. That's my take, though. I mean, take that as you want. But, yeah. I think we should have like a state machine here. State equals game. The issue, okay, so I do think it's a good idea to add it in. I will say that adding a game over screen is well, no, it's not. Here's the thing. Here is what I'm like, my brain is kind of dealing with right now. It really kind of comes down to what do I value? What am I trying to do with this? Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. These mini projects, I'm trying to package them for the average consumer, which is like, because like you guys have seen, I did this last stream, but this is what the reason why I'm making smaller projects is to create ways for people to actually enjoy these streams or like to learn coding in like snippet kind of way, like seeing simple projects that they can easily do or easily adapt or easily work on, like a tutorial system. And I'm trying to create like this kind of social media where they can scroll through and be like, oh yeah, I can see how this code works. And if I start throwing in like a bunch of random stuff that like makes my code just overly complicated, or like 1,000 lines long, it's gonna be a lot less fun. So that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid right now. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if there's like maybe I do think that if I make more visual improvements to it, it might benefit it from a improvement standpoint, but it's complicated. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Let's add I do think a game over screen will benefit the game, so let's just add a game over screen for the fun of it. And we'll add if jumping and timer is greater than 60. Then we'll remove all of enemies I less than enemies dot length I plus plus enemies I dot remove. Then we're going to just clear off enemies and make it an empty array. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back in here and we will timer equals 0. I guess we can add a score for the fun of it. Score equals 0. And state equals game. And then we can add state equals over, timer equals 0. And yeah. So let's give it a try. Let's see how it looks like. So now when I hit an enemy, my PC is having an aneurysm for some reason. Line 75 has a complaint. Oh, I used the word and instead of. So now when I die, so I can live. But now let's just like try dying. And it restarts. I guess it'd be more impressive if we actually see a bunch of them. So here we go, a bunch of them. It restarts. Anywho, so I think that's pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good so far. There's definitely some things I'd like to do as well. For instance, I do think that if there is no enemy on the screen, in order to keep it interesting, it should automatically spawn one in. That definitely feels something that should happen. I'm getting tired. I don't know. My brain is like I want to do one more, but I'm also kind of crashing. We can chat for a bit. How about this? I mean, we got this one nearly done. I'll clean it up, maybe add some like small graphics. Tomorrow, I'm gonna make tomorrow. I'm gonna make it. Well, tomorrow I'm not gonna be streaming, but next couple of days, I'll get all the social media cleared up. Might do another project or two. I'll have all the code posted so you guys can have access to it. And yeah, we're gonna do all that. It's gonna be awesome. But does anybody have any questions? Like you guys have been seeing me coding a while, and maybe does everything make sense? Is there anything that I do that's like, hey Andre, why do you do this? Why is your code the way it is? Or hey Andre, can you freeze frame at this line so I can read it better? Like I mean, again, I especially when I'm like doing like in the middle of coding this, I'm like doing it really quickly. Also moving this down a little bit. It's like there we go. Especially when I'm like doing this really quickly, it can be like probably hard to follow along. Especially when I'm mainly talking nonsense, like stuff that's like very like specific to what I'm coding. Why am I not live on Twitch? So the issue right now is, well, I can solve the issue easily. I stopped paying for Streamlabs Ultra because how much was it again? I forget how much. It was like 20 bucks, 30 bucks. It isn't like a lot of money, but the only thing I was using it for, the only thing I was using it for was multi-streaming. And I guess the main thing I'm trying to think right now, like I mean, obviously I'm not in like the streaming game for the money. Obviously that's gonna be years probably, or I don't know. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to rely on it for money. But right now, obviously money isn't a deal, isn't a problem. But I also don't want to be like actively like spending hundreds of bucks on streaming every year. Like it doesn't like it just doesn't feel like a like the correct thing. I don't know. Maybe well maybe it's worth it because I did make a couple hundred last year from Twitch. So maybe multi-streaming to Twitch is something I should still do. But I mean honestly looking at the numbers nowadays, I'm not making that anymore. So it's like I don't know. It just feels like a lot of money for a very simple thing. It's like it's even worse than stream avatars. We've had the conversation about stream avatars, where stream avatars works pretty decent, but well, mainly the only reason I'm doing this is these. Okay, so Rajesh Pillai is asking why have I not used request animation frame? The main issue right now is that I've been trying to create. So these projects I've been working on, like 2048 and Dinosaur, like these ones, the more recent things I'm working on, they're not really meant to be like very well written games or like full featured games. They're meant to be like very simplistic, more like tutorials. I mean, we can use request animation frame. I mean, there's no problem with it, but it definitely like makes parts of the code more complicated. And that's kind of what I've been trying to like in all these projects, like this, for instance, here, I could have done this in 2 lines or sorry, 3 lines. My original implementation of this was 3 lines of code. And I kind of had to like think about it because I was like, okay, I can do this in 3 lines of code and like do some interesting formulas, or I can make it like simplify it. You know. But yeah, no, it's I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We can do it right now. Actually, there's no issue with us doing it right now. Let me get this. Let me get this working a little bit. I actually haven't used it in a game yet as well. So yeah, this is gonna increase the complexity of my code by like a good deal. I should use this though. Like I do agree with you that I should be using this. But this definitely isn't like, hello, Pippin Live, how's it going? We're just reviewing my code and talking about why I'm not using request animation frame. I think I should. Honestly, not for this project, but for the next one, let's use request animation frame. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely, I'm reading through it right now to the documentation. It's definitely an interesting way of doing this. It's also definitely a very different way of doing it than I normally do. I'm kind of curious because actually, there's some creators I know that I like. I like to look. I want to look at how they handle this. Do they use it? I'm now very curious. I mean, it don't. I don't. If they don't use it, it's not like that's the end. Like that isn't a problem for sure. But I'm just curious if anything else. 10 minutes happened. Still overthinking. Yeah, I know. Right now, it's more just I'm trying to read through documentation and figure out if there's actually something I shouldn't be doing. Interesting. Normalize. Update function. Where's the update? I will say the way how this person is doing it is they're doing it via. Okay. Okay. They're doing it via the canvas. Well, I don't know. Well, I will. My next thing, or I'll do it in my personal time, so you guys don't have to watch me just bash my head against that wall specifically and try to figure out exactly how to do it because it'll be a pain, and I know it's gonna be a pain. So I don't think it's worth you guys watching me just struggle for a minute. Not gonna lie, your thinking style looks like a NASA scientist. No, I think it just looks like a guy who can't make up his mind half the time because the thing is there's no a lot of these things, a lot of these questions that I think about or I talk about or so that there isn't really like a right answer per se. It isn't like if you do something one way or the other, it's like markedly better. Like there's definitely gonna be improvements and issues either way. That's really the issue here is that there isn't it's so up in the air whether or not a lot of these things will actually benefit. We can talk about it all day long and like debate the various like benefits versus some issues with it, and we get nowhere. And that's at the end of the day, that's the thing. Like, how much do you need to make something work? Like, it's like, does sure you can use a specialty design hammer with like cool like details and stuff like that, or you can use a rock, or you can use a nail gun, and you can all get this. You get the same exact result. And the question is, are the other benefits from using it like worth whatever downsides they have? Like, okay, my goal is to nail one nail into one wall. Should I go to the store and buy $1,000 nail gun and like pneumatic chamber thing, etc., and like do all this stuff to like nail a single nail into a wall? Probably not. And like if I don't have a hammer on hand, a rock will do the trick. Does it make sense for me to drive half an hour to a store to buy a hammer? You know, that's kind of the thing. Like, but you know, if we just in isolation say, hey, what'll be better for nailing 1,000 nails into a wall, a nail gun or a rock? And the answer is probably nail gun. But then we start factoring in other stuff, and you know, you go back and forth, and we can debate it and be like, okay, well, the nail gun can be used in the future, so you're getting more value out of the nail gun for doing it. But you got to get nail gun reloads, so maybe just a hammer is more worth it, and like a bunch of nails. But like, you know, that's the kind of way my brain goes, and that's kind of the stuff we debate. I'm going to just mess around with it a little bit right now while we're at it. I'm probably going to go to sleep in a little bit because my brain is kind of starting to die. It's kind of starting to not feel good. And that's understandable because it's 1 in the morning and I had caffeine many, many hours ago and it's recently just gotten out of my system. Okay, request animation frame. Let's mess around with this. I just want to see if I can make this work. There is a nail gun. So a nail gun is just like, think about, well, think about like instead of like hammering in individual nails, you kind of like shoot and like using pneumatics a nail from like a magazine into a wall. They're pretty cool. They've made like electric ones nowadays as well. And there's also ones that aren't even like pneumatic. There's like some that are like handheld, but are more like for like smaller nails, like brad nails and so on. Hmm.
Rajesh Pillai has bought me some coffee.
Hey, thank you for the coffee, Rajesh Pillai. Thanks a ton. I really appreciate it. And you know what that means? Whenever anyone brings adds coffee. So for these projects I've been doing recently, I don't exactly have the. I guess maybe can I? If I throw in one of the special thanks to our Ko-Fi, to my Ko-Fi supporters. Rajesh. I think it's. Is that it? This might not work. Let me give it a try. Hey, it worked! So the Ko-Fi bot is a Ko-Fi is a way that you guys can support me on stream. So yeah, special thanks to Rajesh Pillai for supporting me with some coffee today. So every single month, whenever you support me with Ko-Fi, I for every single month I will add you to whatever project I'm currently working on. So we're now in the month of May, and Rajesh Pillai is my first supporter in this month. And you know, it's I think it's like $3. Oh wait, did he? There's a. He actually sent me some code to look at. Wait, good thing I looked at this. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so key down, key up. Okay, avoid scrolling. Wow, you did this fast actually. I'm pretty impressed actually. That's okay, so like the comments. I'm not sure why he commented out the top. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. No, wait, why is there styled up top here? I guess maybe actually I don't know why. It's fine, it doesn't matter. Append child y equals 0 y vel velocity timer state timer plus plus. Okay, enemy. Okay. Okay, so you have this as a function. Okay, okay. So function. Then where is wait, 1 second. Okay, so now I'm lost. So okay, I see how it's working now. You're doing this recursively. Wait, so here, so the way how you're doing it right now is very. So instead of me, okay, I'm gonna make it. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's just do this. So instead of using set interval, we're right now gonna just make a function draw, and then we're going to, at the end of this, call the recursive call, which is window.request animation frame draw. What time is it for me? It's 1:10 in the morning. My brain is dying, but I'm kind of curious now. Let's see what happens. It feels very choppy right now. It's 12:11 for you? Yeah, no, it's wait, 12:11 a.m. Are you? No, it's a. It's well. Whenever it's 12 a.m. or p.m., I always don't know if it's that's like in the middle of the day or at like night, like midnight. Is that midnight or noon for you? Just sorry, my brain isn't working right now. 12 a.m. That's noon, right? Or am I just completely off the mark right now? I'm an hour ahead of you. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so it's night for you. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Midnight. Sorry, my brain is just not working right now. So I don't think this is working well, Rajesh Pillai. Like, I'm not sure if you can see it on stream, but like for me, it's very choppy. It's like choppier than it was when it was at the 60 frame per second. Like, do you see how the motion of the red square? Yeah, my brain is not braining right now. I don't even know anymore. It's smooth for us. Wait, let me take a look. Let me see how it looks like for on stream. No, you can see it. See how it's like it's moving in like a general direction, but like you see how it's kind of like moving slow then fast. It's very very minor. It's not like a huge like crazy jump. It's not like it's like really like waking out, but it isn't. It isn't like smooth. Like it isn't like um because again, let's put it this way. Right now I have 144 hertz monitor. Realistically speaking, what would be really nice is if we really saw, if I saw it just extremely smooth, like buttery smooth, consistent motion, like you know, heaven, like so perfectly smooth that like my eyes are just like watering because it's so smooth. That's kind of like the amount of smoothness I would like to see in this my animation. But it wasn't great earlier when I was doing it the previous way. But this way isn't improving it. I think the issue I think is okay. Here, I'll explain what I think is going on. Next month, I want to visit a doctor to check your brain cell count. It's probably like, I think I'm like hovering around 1 brain cell. And have I ever seen any movies about programming and code that have inspired you, giving you new ideas? Honestly, so like movies and stuff like that, not really. I think usually a lot of like the movies and stuff and how they depict coding and hacking and so on is really just so like far from the truth. It's more like offensive than anything else. Like I feel like there isn't very a whole lot of movies that depict programming in like the way how it should be depicted. I'll put it that way. Anyways, so here's what I think is happening. I could be totally wrong, but let's say that, let me see, this is on stream. Can you guys see the drawing? You can. So let's say that I have a block, right? And I'm moving the block in this direction. And here we go. So I'm moving the block in this direction. So my current method right now is that every single 60th of a second, I compute the new location. And then I set that on the DOM. Now what happens is the DOM will repaint, or the browser will repaint it. So let's say that the browser repaints here, then here, then here, then here. So let's say it repaints at these intervals. So it's gonna miss this one. It'll show this one late. It'll completely miss this one, and it will show this one, right? So you'll get a judder. So basically, instead of it being smooth like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, we're gonna get instead this, this, then this over the course of 3 frames. And that's an issue because you get this kind of like weird, like when you see it, you're gonna see it's not smooth. It'll look like it'll go really fast and then really slow. And that'll be the issue. That's the issue with doing it my method. When the frames don't. So yeah, so that's correct, Rajesh. That's what I need to do, and that's where it gets more complicated. So the thing is, right now with this current method, we're essentially computing on every single redraw. So basically, whenever it is getting a new animation frame, we recompute it and we do it. But because the speed doesn't match up with it per se, because let's say that the redraw is inconsistent. Now it's going to look like this, but it'll be timed incorrectly. So it'll be really fast here and then really slow here. Now the solution is to compute exactly where it'll be based on the timestamps. So essentially, if it's like a shorter redraw here, it's going to compute that distance and put the block in the right spot. Also when it's longer. So basically it'll be like, okay, it took longer to redraw it here. Let's move it a further distance. By the way, this is what we right now for all the games I've been doing so far, my method is been working pretty good. But when we do like multiplayer, this style of thing is a must. Yeah, no, I know set interval isn't like perfect. I mean that goes without saying. I've done research on this before. No, my brain gets hurt a lot. Mainly, it's not something that taking a break would fix. It's more like I think here is how my energy level goes throughout the day. So I am not a morning person. So like from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, I feel like in the morning I have no energy. I like kind of like slowly ramp up. So this is my 100%. I slowly ramp up. And I think like I kind of like taper off. And then usually about this time, I drink caffeine or like drink a coffee. And I kind of like jump to like 100%. And then I kind of like crash. And then I think at night, I have like a huge spurt of energy, like a final like, yes, I will do something productive before I go to bed. But then like it's always just like a little bit, and then it just goes like bam. And then I kind of like stay at like 0% mode until I go to bed. And usually, so like doing caffeine helps, but it kind of just like, if I did caffeine like right here, it will just slowly, it will increase it slightly, and it would still like go down pretty quickly once I hit the caffeine. Like, I feel like after my first caffeine boost, everything else is just less effective. But the issue is right now, we're at this section right here. We're at like, I think I'm either, right now at the current time, so beginning of stream, I normally have like, I get hyper, I'm talking to you guys, things are happening, we're writing some fresh code, things are awesome. My energy is like, I feel like I jump to like 100%. And then like, I work on stuff, I get tired, I start dipping down. Failures happen, I kind of like lose motivation. Successes happen, I get some hyper, whatever. But I feel like I kind of like slowly waver down and then I like die. Yeah, one second. I saw the message, Simon. I'm trying to finish the thought I'm at right now. So right now we're kind of like here in the last like shudders of like energy I have. And that's why my brain hurts. It's because I'm just running out of energy. I'm still trying to like do stuff. Trying to do stuff without energy is it hurts me a little bit. But anyways, Simon Roblox Gameplay said, have you seen the movie where hackers hack the full self-driving Model 2 Tesla? No, I haven't seen that movie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just generally speaking, a lot of the hacking I've seen in movies and stuff like that, probably the most realistic thing I've seen is the social engineering portion of it, because it's kind of hard to mess that part up. I don't even know. Do you know what movie it was? Let me just Google it. Hackers hack Tesla movie. Is it Leave the World Behind? Yeah, so I'm reading about it right now. Well, no, after the stream, I'm gonna go to bed for sure because I have work tomorrow. I've been having a lot of work lately, so it's I haven't really had days off. I had a day off 2 days ago, but I got called into work, so it wasn't really a day off in the end, I suppose. But yeah, so really it's I'd say so I was looking at the thing and I mean it's cool, but again, I still think it's not like while a hack like that is like theoretically possible, it is in practice would be very difficult and very unlikely to pull off. I think that's the main thing about it. And like it's just like there's so many things like real life hacking and so on, like the kind of that's common or the kind that actually like is more successful isn't the kind of hacking that you'd like see glorified on television. I'd say it's definitely like I think it could definitely be adapted to television, but it isn't like you see people in television, they're like numbers flashing across the screen and they're like yelling random stuff and like we got like 10 seconds to do this and then they type in a command and something happens and they're in and then turn down the security system, etc. and then all these things and then something happens and but like in real life there's so many like it's just not realistic. And on top of that, like the biggest issues aren't like hacking into a machine using computers. Usually the weakest link of like most systems are the users. So you're more like a lot of attacks originate with social engineering attacks. And then also like a lot of these things like the security system, for instance, like in a lot of places, I think another really unrealistic thing is a lot of security systems are air gapped. Like you need physical access to them to actually, you know, take them down or whatever. I don't know, there's like a lot of inaccuracies and like it just I definitely understand watching a movie. I mean, if that inspires you, then by all means use it as like a jumping point for getting into hacking. But for me personally, when I watch movies, it just doesn't really like inspire. Like maybe when I was a kid, I'd say that when I was a kid, a lot of like pop culture inspired me. But the older you get, and the more like you actually look into these things, I'd say the less like it's not like I go to a movie theater and I watch a movie where someone does a really cool hack, and then I walk out. I'm like, yes, I'm now inspired to do this kind of hacking thing. I don't think it's ever really happened to me, not recently. Usually, what I'm inspired by a lot of times is like, have I heard that somebody hacked NASA in real life? Doesn't surprise me. I mean, what part of NASA? It sounds like he just did like he just accessed vulnerable ports in like the organization. It also like this was like an older hack as well. Also, why I can see your comment on the on my whatchamacallit on Streamlabs. I don't see it on YouTube. That's kind of bizarre. Have I used Kali Linux? I have not used. I've used Ubuntu. Hello, Roblick. How's it going? Well, I mean, usually a lot of times the issue or like the way how hackers gain access to systems is just that it didn't like set up services properly. Like they have like generic passwords or very, very simple passwords. And then you can use something that essentially just brute forces its way into the network. Or like just tries out a million passwords. And if it's not protected adequately or if detection isn't in place, they can sneak in and like find like high level passwords and download software and so on. It kind of all comes down to essentially you can think about like any network as a house. And you want your house to have doors. And normally when you have a door, you put a doorknob in, you have a key, and only you have that key, and you want to get inside outside a house. But what if your key is like, what if you want to share your key with other people? Or what if your key is a very, very simple key, like a children's key? Your house won't be as secure. And then you can also make your house more secure. What if like every single time you want to enter your house, somebody inside your house had to look outside of your house and be like, hey, yes, that is you. And then, it lets you in. But adding that extra layer makes it more difficult to access the resources. So essentially you kind of have to balance ease of use and like security. And I think there's like another, like there's like, I forget what it is. There's a cybersecurity triad. I forget what the last one is. It's integrity. I think it's integrity, confidentiality, and accessibility. I think those are the three. Well, I will say that generally speaking, the systems themselves aren't the weakest link. Like I think I've said that like a million times this stream. And I'm sorry for keep saying it, but again, humans are the weakest link usually. The people who set it out, the people who use it, they're the weakest link. So yeah, you can secure your house with an electric fence, but then what if you need to get into your house quickly? Then you gotta make a door in the electric fence. You can think about electric fence as a firewall, for instance, but you still want to have access to the external internet. Let stuff in, let stuff out. And when you have a door, you have threats. And that's kind of the truth of all of this. It just kind of comes down to the fact that if you can access it, somebody else like you can access it too. If they knew what you know. Or if they have what you have. And that's just that's the nature of security. It's like, how do you prevent other people from having what you have and getting into your stuff? It's like, how do you, because you want your stuff to be useful. Like you can think about like the most secure thing in the world could be like an air blocked network that's hidden underground and has only one person can access it, like on a hidden terminal, and like secure data, da 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 da. But at the end of the day, if you do that with your data, sure, that's like the most secure thing you can possibly imagine. But like, and that's probably like, honestly, what I'm describing is stuff like the nuclear bunkers and so on. That's basically what they have. But when you do something like that, then the question is, well, who can use it? What if you have a big organization? What if your data is useful and you want to use it like on the go? Or what if you want to put in new data easily? How do you do that? And the answer is you can't. You need to actually build more doors. And you build more doors, you drop the security measure. You drop security. And that's kind of like the long and short of it. It's like, what do you prioritize? What is useful, what isn't? And also, by the way, I'm not saying that I'm like an expert at this. For the record, I'm not. I took a class in cybersecurity. Did I did some hacking stuff. I was working on Hack the Box for a minute. I got to get back into it. I've just been too busy to work on it recently. So I know enough to get by, but I'm not like, yes, I've hacked into systems my entire life, and you know I got this and that, and I'm so much experience in hacking. No, I'm not like an expert at this, but I know enough to be like, well, you know, this is like the basics. What I'm talking right now is the basics of security and how security works, like what a CFA would basically talk about. But yeah, it also kind of comes down to like, I mean, another thing you got to think about when it comes to these companies and their security and so on is there's always a balance of, is it how much money can we invest in protecting this? Because I mean, think about it this way. If I had a bank, right? And in that bank, let's say I had like billions of dollars, then obviously I'd want to like secure that bank however possible, right? Like if it's billions of dollars, then yeah, of course you want to make it nuclear weapon proof. Like, you know, if there's literally an atom bomb gets dropped on it, it should be fine. You know, armed theft proof, this proof, that proof. You want to make it as proof as possible. But if I have a bank with like a $5 bill in it and nothing else, you know, we probably don't want to invest in like a nuclear bunker. It's just not worth it. And it kind of comes down to how do we balance the value of what we're protecting with the amount of money it takes to protect it. Like how much money will we, like if somebody stole this or destroyed this or anything, how much money will we stand to lose? How quickly can we recover that data? Is it invaluable? Do we have backups? Yada, yada, yada. And then we basically determine exactly how much money are we going to spend on security teams, red team, blue team, on like, you know, a lot of different, like, you know, like just in general, like how many cybersecurity experts are we going to hire onto the team? How many people are we going to, you know, have watching the networks and making sure our IT team is working? How much are we going to invest into like training programs for all of our employees? Yada, yada, yada. It's like, that's kind of like the calculation that goes down these corporations, as far as I know, as far as my very limited knowledge is. Anywho, okay, by now I've well shot past my time. I'm not even coding anymore right now. I'm just rambling on and on about cybersecurity. I should actually, you know what? I should learn this stuff because I feel like this comes up enough on stream to where maybe I should like get back into practicing like cybersecurity stuff and everything, so I can actually like, hey guys, let me talk to you guys about actual modern day cybersecurity threats, and we can have fun discussions about that. Because like right now I'm just telling you basic stuff. I'm pretty sure if you Google it, you'll get a much more concise answer than what I'm telling you guys right now. Anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm just getting tired, and my eyes are closed, my brain is shutting off. My energy's gone. The next 2 days, so right now we're only streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So my next 2 days are off. My next stream should be on Monday, unless I do a Stardew stream or something with Ken. I don't know. I'm still figuring out what we're doing on stream. Like, I don't know if I should be doing game jams. I don't know if we should be doing more Java, like these simple project things. I don't know if we should be doing tutorials, explanations, etc. I don't know what we're doing yet. I'm still kind of figuring this all out. I guess we will figure this out soon. So hang in tight there. We're going to get it all figured out. Thanks again to Rajesh Pillai for donating some coffee to the stream. Your name is now in the current project. It won't be in the social media, but it will be in the GitHub when you do look at it. See you, Karks Talks, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a great night, everybody. You're still here, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Hope I'm not scaring you guys from commenting on my stream by my continuous ranting or something. Oh, I do think you did say that you were coding a game, right? How's your game going? Before I head out. Whenever I ask you guys anything, I'm like fully aware. It'll be like, it's going good? Good. I'm glad. You're playtesting it now. That's awesome. Will you have a demo available for us to try out? Like on itch.io or something? Well, again, what I was saying is I know for a fact that every time I say anything, it'll take like 30 seconds for you guys to see it. Which sucks, but it's almost done. That's awesome. Well, I am calling stream right now, but maybe next stream you can show me what you've done. Or you can send it to me over Discord, or like put it on the Discord, and we can take a look at it. That'd be awesome. I still need to make like I still need to make like I literally have Raspberry Pis available right now. I just need to like set these all up so I can play games that you guys make on like Simon's Roblox asked me when did I start streaming today. Today I started streaming like around 11 10ish, 11 12ish. You're welcome, Rajesh Pillai. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the coffee again. I really do appreciate it. And I will credit you as much as I can in the upcoming days for your generous donation. My Discord account. The Discord is linked onto YouTube. There should be a link that says like community, and you can click on it to get into the Discord. But yeah, if you want to send it to me over Discord, honestly, I would personally. I started I think 2.5 hours ago. Yeah, I know. I said I was gonna do 3 hours. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting 3 hours. I think what is gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to like start streaming earlier. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how I'm gonna do this because, like I said, right now I'm at 2.5 hours and I'm barely holding on. Like it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, on my Discord name is Urbandrei. I do prefer that people don't private message me. You can, but a lot of times it just makes more sense to me. Like, especially for stuff like this, just post a link in the, there's a play testing portion of the Discord. And you can put your game there. And then other people can try it too. And that's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, and that's just my take. I mean, again, if you want to private message me, I'm not gonna, I have no rules against it yet. Don't abuse it because then I will add a rule. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. Man, I'm looking at myself on the stream and like my face here. When I put my glasses off, I just look like look how droopy my eyes are right now. I have these dark spots under my eyes. Man, I'm so tired. God. God damn. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys soon. I'm taking 2 days off. In the 2 days off, I'm gonna start posting more social media. I'm gonna start being more active on Discord. If you guys haven't joined already, I would join there. I'm gonna start. I think the focus right now, recently, for the last like several months, I think I've been putting a lot of effort into the stream, and not even like in improving the stream, in just streaming, and that's fine. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of fun stuff, and I think a lot of community building stuff that we needed, and streaming was a fun way to do it. But I do think that streaming isn't enough, and because I feel like if somebody, like, let's say you guys had a friend, right? Like, let's say someone who isn't super into coding, doesn't know who I am, and they just, you guys recommend them to me, and they look at all my VODs. I'm not even interacting, I'm just coding or whatever, and he watches it. I don't think anybody in their right mind would watch. I know for you guys, 2.5 hours, like, oh, why aren't you going to 3 hours? To other people, I feel like watching 5 minutes would be a tall ask for me for watching a VOD. I need to start making content that people who aren't invested can like. For social media, for YouTube. So on the Discord, there's a play testing in the development section. Here, I'm not sure if you have access to it. I'm not sure. Do you join it? I see the welcome mat. Kark Toxin is here. Gonna wave introductions. I see your introduction. And in the play. And then, so in development, the very last one is play testing. And that's where I would post a game. But yeah. So I do think that I'd like to do more stuff that isn't just a stream. Even though I don't think I'll ever stop streaming. I think streaming a little bit less will be nice, just so I have more time doing more content and like making more stuff that more people can enjoy. Plus, like right now, it's just so hard to stream with like my work and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I love streaming and I do enjoy it. But sometimes after work, like I told you guys, today was just like a rough day for me, from start to end. And like right now, I'm just like spent. And that's fine. It's fine. But anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for putting up with me whenever I'm like in this kind of mood. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll be posting a lot more stuff outside of the stream, so hope you guys enjoyed that, and hope everyone is okay with what I'm trying to do. I am doing this in the best interest of the community. We will grow. We will prosper. The herbs will conquer the world. I don't see your game submission yet. Let me take a look. See you, Leader Wolf. See you, everybody. I'll stop ranting. I know you guys are like, you said you were going to leave 10 minutes ago, but it's been like 10 minutes and you're still talking. And you're right. I feel like I always do this. But yeah, if you haven't already and you're watching this video, if you want to see more streams, subscribe. Join the Discord for more information. Okay, I'll wait, Park Stocks, I'll wait. Join the Discord for more information. If you would also like to be to help support the stream in a more material matter in manner, and like have your have your name have your name be on the code, and like just you know show the fact that you're a show your support for the stream. My Ko-fi, as Rajesh Pillai donated, you can do that as well. um yeah, that's basically it. I'm sorry guys, I know I ramble a lot at the end of the stream. I gotta I'll get the hang of this one day. One day I'm gonna be a perfect streamer. One day it'll be like, wow, Andre knows what he's doing. He isn't just messing around anymore. You sent it? Let me take a look. Uh, 1 second. I don't know if this music is copyright or not. 1 second. Let me drop the volume of this real fast. Here, I'll play it for a second. I'm not sure what is supposed to happen. I'm looking at your code right now. I haven't done anything in Scratch really, so I don't really know what to look for here. So when clicked, show this, glide, start sound crunch. When clicked, switch backdrop to backdrop, title theme, hide other scripts, backdrop, other okay. I don't see where we have the pass. It's sprite 1. Okay. I'm not sure. Is it like just like a guessing game? Again, I don't see the logic for the password yet, so I'd have to see exactly how it works. Anyways, we'll talk about this later. But well, I'll keep working on it, Kirkstoxin. And I can't wait to see the final product. Click the backdrops to find the answer. Wait, let me try clicking the backdrops. Let's go back to the... Click the backdrops. I'm trying to click the backdrops. I don't know if I click the backdrops, like the background. The backdrop code. Forever repeat 50x. Backdrop 2. I think I see how this works now. So that's how you do the glide thing. Is this sprite 3. Star sound crunch. Okay. Oh, I see. It's like a riddle type game. No, I see our code now. I see how it's supposed to work. It's not bad. I do think that it isn't like super intuitive. Like I wouldn't have if I didn't know if I didn't know that was a riddle type game, like or was like kind of like a word play style game. I I feel like I wouldn't have been able to guess the first password, for instance. Anyways, okay. My brain is. I feel like right now I'm getting so tired I can't even think anymore. Thanks everybody for watching again. Sorry for rambling on, making this ending last forever. The stream that never ended. That's how this is feeling right now. Also, why are you saying my name? Simon's Roblox gameplay. What is it? Testing audio. Okay, I really need to call it now. For reals this time. Watch, ready? 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for watching. See you on Monday.